Did you know doctors warn about 5 common masturbation mistakes that can harm older adults' health? It's a topic that many men shy away from discussing. But as we get older, the small habits and mistakes we make behind closed doors can have real consequences for our health, comfort, and confidence. If you're a man over 60, you might think you've seen it all. But the truth is, there are silent dangers that most folks never hear about. In this video, we're talking about 5 masturbation mistakes that doctors warn can quietly harm men after 60. This isn't about embarrassment or shame. It's about knowledge, self-respect, and the wisdom to protect your health at every age. You'll learn how simple changes can make all the difference, not just for your body, but for your peace of mind and overall well-being. Stay with me until the end because you'll not only discover what to avoid, but also how to take better care of yourself, maintain your vitality, and embrace this part of life with more confidence and comfort than ever before. Now, let's get started. Mistake 1. Ignoring dryness and skin health. One of the most common mistakes men make as they age, often without realizing it, is neglecting the importance of skin health and dryness during private moments. The skin, especially in sensitive areas, naturally becomes thinner, less elastic, and more prone to irritation with each passing year. What felt comfortable or harmless at 40 be a very different story after 60. Failing to pay attention to dryness can lead to discomfort, micro tears, and even small infections that linger far longer than you'd expect. What's really happening is that as testosterone drops and skin loses its natural oils, the body produces less moisture. This makes the delicate skin more likely to chafe or become sore, especially with repetitive friction or rough handling. Sometimes men notice redness, itching, or a burning sensation after the fact, and chalk it up to aging. But the real issue is often mechanical irritation made worse by dryness. Over time, these small injuries can add up, making each experience less enjoyable and even increasing the risk of long-term sensitivity. It's also easy to underestimate the psychological impact. When self-care brings pain or discomfort, men may start to avoid intimacy altogether or worry that something more serious is wrong. That anxiety can spiral, chipping away at self-esteem and leaving a sense of embarrassment that's hard to talk about with anyone, even a doctor. I think of a friend named Leonard who turned 74 last spring. Leonard had always taken good care of himself, but after a bout of dryness left him with a nagging irritation. He stopped altogether, thinking something was wrong with him. When he finally spoke to his doctor, he learned that a little extra care, a gentle fragrance-free moisturizer or water-based lubricant could make all the difference. With that small adjustment, Leonard found comfort again and regained his confidence, proving that a little knowledge and self-kindness go a long way. The lesson here is simple. Pay close attention to your skin, especially as you age. If you notice dryness, don't be shy about using a moisturizer or gentle lubricant. And never use harsh soaps or household products that can strip away natural oils. Listen to your body. If something feels off, take it as a cue to slow down and give yourself the same patience you'd offer a loved one. In doing so, you're not only protecting your health, but also embracing a wiser, more comfortable chapter of life. Mistake 2. Overusing force or speed. Another mistake that quietly causes harm, especially for men in their 60s and beyond, is relying on force or speed rather than gentleness and patience. It's easy to forget that the body you have today isn't quite the same as the one you had at 30 or 40. As we grow older, nerves can become more sensitive, blood vessels less resilient, and healing can take a bit longer than it used to. Going too fast or using too much pressure, even if it once felt fine, now raises the risk of bruising, soreness, and even subtle nerve damage that builds up over time. What often happens is that old habits linger. Many men grew up with a sense of urgency or secrecy around private moments, leading to patterns of rushing that stick around for decades. This habit of speed, sometimes learned in youth, is rarely questioned as the years go by. But pushing too hard or moving too quickly can cause tiny injuries, swelling, tenderness, or even small tears that don't heal as quickly with age. Some men may notice tingling, numbness, or a dull ache afterward, and worry it's a sign of something serious when it's really the body saying slow down. There's a psychological cost as well. When the body reacts with discomfort, men may feel frustrated or even embarrassed, questioning their masculinity or fearing they've done permanent harm. It's easy for anxiety to creep in, making each experience more stressful and less enjoyable. The pressure to perform or meet a certain expectation, sometimes internal, sometimes shaped by society, only adds to the tension. Let me share the story of Alan, who was 80 and still valued staying active in all areas of life. Alan began noticing soreness after his private time and started to worry that it meant he was losing his vitality. After some honest reflection and a conversation with his physician, Alan realized that slowing down, focusing on comfort and being gentle actually made the experience better. He learned to listen to his body and let go of old patterns that no longer served him. As a result, he found not just relief, but a new sense of peace and enjoyment. The key lesson is this: with age, your body deserves a softer, more patient approach. Gentle movements, slower pacing, and listening to your own signals can prevent harm and even improve your experience. If you find yourself feeling rushed or tense, remind yourself that there's no deadline. This is your time, and you've earned the right to treat yourself kindly. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Mistake 3, neglecting hygiene and cleanliness. A third mistake that often flies under the radar, yet quietly sets the stage for discomfort. And even infection is neglecting personal hygiene before and after private moments. As we age, the immune system may not work as swiftly as it once did, and the skin's ability to recover from tiny irritations or injuries is reduced. Even a small lapse in cleanliness can lead to irritation, inflammation, or in some cases, bacterial or fungal infections that linger and cause ongoing problems. What often happens is that routine slips. Many men think a quick rinse now and then is enough, especially if there's no visible dirt or odor. But when it comes to sensitive areas, regular and gentle washing, using warm water and a mild fragrance-free soap can make a world of difference. If you use creams, ointments, or lubricants, it's important to clean any residue away afterward. Sweat and natural oils can also build up and create a breeding ground for bacteria if left unwashed. The consequences aren't just physical. When discomfort or itching appears, it's easy to feel embarrassed or even avoid intimacy altogether. Over time, worries about odor or irritation can quietly erode self-confidence, making private moments a source of anxiety rather than comfort. This cycle of worry and avoidance is more common than most people think, and it's something no one should feel ashamed to talk about. Let me tell you about Arthur, 79, who began to notice more frequent irritation and redness in his private area. After skipping showers or hurrying through his routine, Arthur assumed it was just part of aging. But when his doctor recommended a more careful approach to hygiene, he noticed a big improvement within days. The simple act of paying more attention restored not only his comfort, but his confidence as well. Proper hygiene is not about perfection, but about self-respect and self-care. Taking a few extra minutes to wash gently, dry thoroughly, and inspect for any changes is one of the best ways to prevent unnecessary problems. If you use shared towels, be sure to swap them out regularly and always dry off completely before getting dressed. These habits protect both your health and your dignity and send a quiet message that you value yourself at every stage of life. Embracing good hygiene isn't just about preventing problems. It's about enjoying your body and this season of life with pride and assurance. By making cleanliness a routine part of your self-care, you open the door to greater comfort, confidence, and even more fulfilling connections. Mistake 4. Ignoring warning signs from your body. Perhaps one of the most overlooked mistakes men make, especially after 60, is dismissing the early warning signs their bodies try to send. When discomfort, pain, swelling, numbness, or an unusual change appears, it's tempting to brush it off as a fluke or blame it on age. Too often, men put up with symptoms for weeks or months before seeking help, hoping things will simply work themselves out. Yet, what seems minor at first can quietly grow into something more serious. The truth is, your body is remarkably good at communicating when something's wrong. Even in the most private of situations, persistent redness, swelling, sores, a lump discharge, or lasting pain during or after self-care should never be ignored. Sometimes these symptoms are just minor irritations, but other times they can signal infections, circulation problems, or early signs of conditions that deserve a doctor's attention. By tuning into these messages and seeking help when needed, you protect your long-term comfort and health. There's a psychological hurdle here, too. Many men grew up in a culture of toughing it out, believing that real strength means ignoring pain or discomfort. There's a natural reluctance to talk about sensitive issues or fear that bringing up private concerns might lead to embarrassment or judgment. But true wisdom means putting health above pride and recognizing that no question is too small when it comes to your well-being. I remember a neighbor named Patrick, who was 81 and prided himself on his resilience. When he first noticed numbness after his private time, he shrugged it off for months. Only when the numbness began to interfere with his daily activities did he visit his doctor, and it turned out that a simple adjustment plus some medical guidance solved the issue quickly. Patrick later admitted he wished he'd spoken up sooner, sparing himself weeks of needless worry. Your doctor is there to support you, not judge you. If something doesn't feel right, speak up. Whether it's new pain, a change in sensation, or just a feeling that something is off, you know your body better than anyone. Early action is almost always easier and more effective than waiting until a problem grows. Listening to your body and respecting its signals is a form of self-care that goes far beyond any single moment. It's about honoring the wisdom you've gained and protecting the life and relationships you cherish. Every concern, no matter how small it seems, deserves attention. By putting health first, you set the stage for many more years of comfort, confidence, and connection. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Mistake 5, letting guilt or shame shape your experience. For many men over 60, another quiet but powerful mistake is letting old feelings of guilt or shame creep into what should be a healthy, private experience. Society has long sent mixed messages about self-care and pleasure, and some men carry those attitudes from childhood all the way into their later years. The result can be unnecessary worry, emotional discomfort, or even avoiding intimacy with oneself altogether out of fear that it's wrong or immature. But the truth is, self-care, when approached with mindfulness and respect, is a completely normal part of well-being at any age. Holding on to guilt or shame can create unnecessary stress and tension, sometimes even leading to physical symptoms like muscle tightness or sleep problems. Worse, it can damage self-esteem and make it harder to talk openly with partners or health professionals, leaving important questions or concerns unspoken. There's also a tendency to judge oneself harshly if habits change with age. Perhaps it takes longer than before, or the body doesn't respond as quickly. Instead of kindness, some men respond with frustration or self-criticism. This can turn a natural private moment into something that feels burdensome or lonely. I remember talking with George, 77, who always felt uneasy discussing this topic, even with his doctor. George grew up believing that self-pleasure was something to be hidden or even ashamed of. But as he grew older and learned more, he realized that embracing this aspect of his health without judgment actually brought him more comfort and peace. When he let go of guilt, he found it easier to take care of himself, seek advice when needed, and even enjoy better intimacy with his wife. The key is to recognize that there's nothing shameful about knowing and caring for your own body. If old feelings of guilt surface, remind yourself that wisdom means letting go of outdated beliefs that no longer serve you. If you find it hard to shake these feelings, talking with a trusted friend, counselor, or even a medical professional can be a great step forward. Your later years are meant to be enjoyed, not burdened by old judgments or secrecy. Accepting yourself in all ways is a powerful act of self-growth and kindness. Give yourself permission to experience comfort, pleasure, and connection free of the shadows of guilt. This not only improves your private life, but brings a sense of peace, confidence, and even better health for years to come. If you haven't finished writing the script yet, please continue writing the next part of it. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this honest conversation about the 5 most common mistakes men make when it comes to private self-care after 60, I hope you're walking away with more than just tips. You're carrying a sense of reassurance, self-respect, and maybe even a little relief. Each of these mistakes is not a cause for shame or worry, but rather an invitation to approach this part of your life with wisdom, comfort, and kindness. The body changes with age, but your need for care, confidence, and simple pleasure never disappears. Remember, dryness and skin health matter. Don't hesitate to use gentle products that protect and soothe. Slow down, listen to your body, and give yourself permission to take your time without pressure or force. Good hygiene is not just about avoiding problems, but about treating yourself with dignity and pride. If something feels off, listen to the signals and never be afraid to ask questions or seek help. Above all, let go of guilt and shame. These years are meant to be lived with courage, acceptance, and joy. If you're supporting a loved one, or if this is your first time hearing some of this advice, know that you are not alone. Honest conversations about health, especially topics that are rarely discussed, make us stronger, not weaker. You've earned the right to look after your own comfort, happiness, and well-being at every age. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.